Hi guys, it's Paul from emodels.co.uk. Welcome back to part 2 of our Academy 172 F-22A Raptor build. Today we're going to be focusing on getting the fuselage halves together, glued, sanded, polished, filled if needed. We'll then get some of the tail sections on. So we'll crack on. I hope you like what you see, so let's get started. Okay, so back with the Academy F-22. I've glued the cockpit in place, as you can see. We've sprayed around the cockpit where the canopy is going to sit in Mr. Hobby Flat Black. So, as you can see, if I zoom in a little bit, you see into the cockpit. It's not a badly little detailed cockpit for 172, to be fair. A little bit of detail in there with the washers and what have you. The decals you can just about see there on the instrument display. Still got a little head-up display to add that I'll go in just before the canopy's added, and hopefully that'll look spot on when it's done. So that's that bit. Off camera, I've also installed the intakes. They were just two sections glued together each side with the rear section. These are then glued in position, as you can see. The front nose section was added on. So you need a little bit of filler just there and there, obviously. It just wouldn't sit right with the intakes being perfectly flush, so it's a little bit off, but it's there anyway. I've also got the landing gear bays in. As you can see, sprayed them in flat white. I did originally plan on having this aircraft with its landing gear down on the ground. I think now I'm going to have it as an in-flight. Like I said, have the clear panels there so you can see into the weapons bays, and then we're going to close up the landing gear bays. So although I've painted them, I've had an afterthought, so they will be closed as the aircraft will be situated in flight. So what we're going to do now, before the two halves go together, is we've got the rear engines to put together. So it's just 4 parts. I'm going to quickly clean up, so trim off all the excess. A little bit of tiny little bit of flash there, just picked off with my finger. So we'll pick off all the excess plastic using the side cutters, and then we'll give it a file and a polish with various sanding sticks, sponges and what have you. So there we go, that's them all trimmed off. So I think for this one we'll use a sanding sponge as the curved parts. No need to be too aggressive, especially on round surfaces. I don't like to use the flat polishing sticks like that, because if you're a little bit too harsh you'll lose the roundness. So a flexible sponge is ideal for this because it conforms to the shape. A couple of passes over and there we go, smooth. Same at the bottom there, probably just see it sticking out a little bit. No pressure, just let the sponge do its work, and there we go, perfectly round. So same on the other one. Just the two sections where it was attached to the sprue, and obviously this rear one now I will use an actual sanding stick. It's a very fine one, I don't like to use anything too aggressive. So again, no real pressure. If we can do it so you can see, it'd be great. So just let the sanding stick glide over. Keep checking that you're not being too aggressive and removing too much plastic. Right, so keep going until you're happy. It's all gone, which it is. And then another nice little tool is a polishing stick. Very mildly abrasive one side, really very finely on the other side. You can hear that. So with the green side, this is very mildly abrasive. This will lightly scuff the plastic, so good for removing glue marks, any light scratches, etc. So you literally go over the green, flip it around to the white, and this literally polishes the plastic, so it will look as shiny as it was before you started sanding. I don't know if the light will catch there, it's quite hard for the camera to see. That you lose all the damage caused by your sanding sticks. So refer to the instructions. Looks fairly simple. That's the top side. So each one of the fans sits in that way. So there's little recesses there. We can see if I zoom in a tiny bit. You can see the recesses at the top, and there's little lugs on each one of the fans. So they just sit in there like so. So we should be able to fit these together. And then fingers crossed, that should just slot in there, which it does. So nice and simple, nothing too taxing. And obviously most of this is hidden from view. Just that end is seen. But again, as always, try and keep it as neat as possible. Any glue marks, etc. It's always good practice for when you do need to hide the glue marks. There we go, and then just the actual fans themselves. So again, like I always say, make sure you wipe off the excess glue off your brush. Don't want it going on your fingers because it makes a sticky mess. A little bit there of excess plastic I didn't see. Just rip that off with the snips, and I'll sand that once the glue's dried. Like I say, those parts aren't viewable from outside, but it's good practice for making neat joins and what have you with the glue. There we go. Those two bits done. So at the bottom half of the fuselage, and I'm assuming the top half has two lugs, which it does, which are there. So we'll just pop this into, we'll dry fit it first. So that's how we're going to fit, just like that. So I'm going to give it a little bit of glue just on the lugs themselves. Can get the brush in fact, we'll take it off and we'll pop some dobs of glue in the holes ready. Probably the easiest way of doing it. Pop those in, like so. And just a little up the side there. That meets the fuselage itself. Like I said in the first video, I don't think it'll take long building this. It's a nice simple kit. Right, okay, so that glue's now dried on our rear exhaust. I've also glued in the navigation lights top and bottom, which are there and there. If you can see them there, just clear plastic, bulbous top. So I'm assuming they'll be painted in a clear colour at a later stage. So they're in, top and bottom. So we can now attach the fuselage halves together. Again, always just double check, look at your instructions, because I very nearly, if I find it, didn't see that particular part there was glued in from underneath, because it doesn't say in the instructions there, whereas it does on these, that this part is inside. That one doesn't. So if you're making this, make a reference to that, because once those fuselage halves are glued together, you can't get that in. So luckily I spotted it, otherwise I'd been a bit annoyed at that. But instructions, I guess, they can't always be crystal clear. So that's in there now. That's glued in position. And from the exterior, it's nice and flush. So spot on again. So fuselage halves together. Always a bit of a nerve-wracking process this, because you're never quite sure how it's going to go together. So there are little lugs and holes in there, so we can get those rear exhaust assemblies together, which we have there. So we go all the way around. The nose fits very well. If I just get that little bit of pressure, because I'm going to glue this and it'll all be clamped, held together. So again, nice held together. The good thing is where the seam line is where there's a sharp edge on the aircraft itself, so it does fit in very neatly. Around the intakes, again, a nice fit. I'll zoom in a little bit. A nice fit, so that's great again. Wing sections, again, once glued, clamped and let it dry for a bit, they're going to be fairly trouble free. May need a little bit of filler just in those leading edges there, but again, no problem. And the rear section, again, no problem. Glue it, clamp it, leave it to dry. We'll sand it, polish it, see what we've got. If it needs a little bit of filler in there, we'll use a bit of Mr. Surf's 1200. And then underneath, where I said where the intakes there's a gap, I'm going to put a little bit of Vallejo white putty in there, wipe it off straight away, let it dry. We'll see what that looks like, and if it needs a bit of filling and sanding, I'll go ahead and do that. So I'm going to glue all this, and once it's all glued and dried, clamped, we'll come back and we'll get the tail sections on and what have you. Right, okay, it's approximately 40 minutes later now. The glue's dried nicely, so I'll just take it quickly round. We'll see how the fuselage halves are gone together. I'll start sanding it, then I'll carry on off camera and we'll come back, start getting some of the tail sections together. So I'll zoom in a little bit. So all on the front, the nose, very nice there. There's a little bit of where the sprue's been there that needs to be trimmed off. It all needs sanding anyway. Right across the intakes, nicely. No gaps there at all, so that's spot on. All along this leading edge, no problems whatsoever. Little gap on the edge there. These were glued, pegged together, clamped and what have you. So any gaps that are there are literally part of the kit now. Rear leading edge, not too bad. Just till it reaches this section here, there's a little gap. So again, that's going to need filling. In there won't be seen, that's not a problem. Same for in here, not a problem again. Right around the tail end, little tiny gaps. So a little bit of filler in there, not a problem really. Same this side, a little bit of a gap there. To be honest, there's not really a gap, it's just an overlap, so once that's sanded that'll disappear. Exactly the same this side, little gap just there, a little bit of filler I'll get. This leading edge fine, little gap, and then we're fine all the way along the front, right along, all the way along the nose, and it's just the very tip of the nose. There's the smallest gap, which I'll just put a little bit of filler in and we'll wipe off before it dries. So sanding, I'll start off with a sponge for the main, everywhere really, and then any small parts where a bit more stubborn will go to an actual stick, and then at the end we'll polish all the plastic out. So all I've got to be careful of really, from what I can see, is just along the nose, because it's such a sharp angle. If I'm too aggressive, we'll lose that sharp edge, which is part of the look of the aircraft obviously. So I'm just going to go in lightly with a sponge, and we'll just trying to get rid of all the rough edge that's there left from the glue. I'm applying no pressure whatsoever. I'm just letting that sponge do the work. So quick wipe down. We've got a very nice edge. All we've got there is a little bit of where the sprue was, so I'm going to use my stick on that because it's a bit more controllable. I'm going to use my finger as a rest to stop it moving up too far. I'm just going to lightly sand that until that disappears. It might be a bit difficult for you to see while I do this, but there we go. That's gone. There's another one just at the front, just there. So again, using the sanding stick, purely because it's a bit more precise. I can get it exactly where I want it, so that's great. Other side, we go back to the sponge, and again, no pressure. All I'm doing is losing that rough edge. We had glue. Again, we've got one little sprue mark there, so I'm literally taking it not to the full angle of the fuselage, just off this. We're going to start scratching everything further up, because it just makes more work for you. With the polishing sticks, that one's gone, and then this one again, just on the end there. Nearly gone. There we go. So I'll just quickly, we'll go over the entire nose with the sponge, and then we'll polish it out, and that hopefully will be the nose done. So there we go. It looks fine to me. So let's get our polishing stick. So this is the very mildest of razor of the screen side. Multitude of manufacturers of sticks. I've got several different makes. E-models sell a good range of polishing sticks, and they're very useful. So that side's spot on. So what you're looking for here is anything where the sponge or the stick has scratched with it, so this just reduces it, and then the white side completely takes it off. So you can use this side on like that. Also look for glue marks, as it'll get rid of glue marks as well. It's just a very mild abrasive, and obviously you'll hear the white one start to squeak, because it really does polish it up. Again for the other side, so let's get that bit there, and we'll go side on again. There we go, and then the white side, which just polishes up the plastic. Let's get in here. That white sponge should remove any trace where it's been sanded, giving you a nice smooth finish. So there we go. No real problems there at all, and that little end of the nose doesn't even need filling. Anything that was there has now been sanded off. So I'm going to go around the entire model using the sponge, the stick and the polisher, remove all the glue signs, any gaps will be filled. I'm just going to use, if I can grab it quickly without knocking everything off, going to use Vallejo's plastic putty. I'm not going to put it in and allow it to dry. I'm going to put it in, use a wet cotton bud and take it off, so it should leave the filler in the gap. It's quicker, it's easier, there's less sanding. That's where I like to do it. Unless there's a big gap, then I will let it dry. So I'll get all this sanded up, polished up, filled, and we'll come back and we'll start on these tail sections. Right, so the whole aircraft's been sanded, polished, any gaps have been filled, and it's looking spot on now. The fit is really very good. All I've read online about this kit is good things, and I can see it now. It's very nice. You can just see maybe specks of white filler just here or there, leading edges right on the edge of the wings, just at the rear where I showed it before. So not much filler at all, and I did it the technique I showed on the ME109. Put it in wet. The Vallejo putty dries really quick. Wet a cotton bud, wipe it off, and it leaves it in there. Lovely. So those larger sections underneath have been done as well, which I showed before. They're probably the only two real problems I've come across on this kit, and they haven't really proved to be problems at all, to be honest. Absolutely spot on there. So again, very good. So what we're going to quickly do now is we've got the actual engine nozzles, I call them, to fit in. They fit in there. I've gone with the open position. As you can see, there'll be one top and bottom like that. They're fiddly little buggers to get in. Saying that one's just popped in very nearly in position by itself, because there's not enough room to get both fingers in, especially if you've got sausage fingers like mine. So bear with me while I do this, and we'll pop these in. I will start making progress on the tail section then as well, and whatnot. So they're in position there. So I'm going to pop a little bit of glue in, and then put that in its final position. Because obviously the glue will give it something to set to. I'm sorry if you can't see what I'm doing, it's just quite a tricky little stage. There we go. So there's one in position. I'm just going to really dry off that brush on the extra thin. And we'll just go around it, and then we'll leave that one there. Spin it round and then try number two. I have dry fitted all these to make sure they're fitted. That's why I know they're a pain to fit. So this time I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in preparation for this one. So again, if I can do it so you can see, it's quite tricky. There we go, so just pop that there, hopefully it'll stay on. Which it has. It looks roughly in the same position as the other one, so let's have a look on the back. It needs to go up a little bit, but hopefully it'll move without. What we'll do, let me do the one down, because that's better. Just pull it up a little bit, there we go, that's better. Put that in there, exactly the same as before, really dry off the brush. I'm just going to put some extra thin in the gap there. Have a look at the back, make sure they're in the right position, which to me looks a tad high that side. So they're fiddly little bits. So underneath, exactly the same underneath, same two parts. So again, dab of glue. So again, another good tip when using extra thin glue, make sure it's none on your fingers before you switch hands or what have you. So that looks perfect to me. So on to the next piece, which is this one, which goes just there. So what we're going to do, we'll put a little bit of glue in there this time. So you've got orientated the right way. Pop it in. Hopefully the glue will take it, if not it's going to need a little bit more. It's gone in, but it could do with a little bit more. Just hold it for a sec. I don't want to add more glue to the top if possible, because I just need a little bit more clean up then. There we go, that's spot on. On the other side, exactly the same again. Remember, always keep referring back to instructions. Mine are literally right next to me here. You can't see them, they're off camera. There we go, let's got that one. They're literally there, so I can see every part needed. As he says that, the part drops off. That serves me right for letting go too early. So just hold that in place. Don't think we've got enough glue on this one, but we'll wait and see. No, it's going to fall off. Yeah, a little bit more glue. That's better. Give it a second. Then we'll crack on with the tail itself. There we go. Make sure they're straight where you want them to position, which that's got there. So there we go. Really starting to take shape now. So I'll let these dry and we'll come back in a minute. Okay, so those parts are now, they've dried quite nicely now. It's a little bit of a clean up once they're fully dried, but very quickly we're going to pop on the rest of these tail sections. So the size marked so you can't put them on the wrong side, which is nice. So just quickly dry fit that. So it goes that way, I believe. That one goes there. So easy fit. These had to have little parts glued on the bottom, but you've got like the spigot on that sits in the aircraft. So I did that off camera to save a little bit of time. So it's a case of popping them in position. I'm going to let a little bit of extra thin just run down this near side to me. Hopefully I can let go of that and it won't move. There we go. I'm going to spin it round. Pop it in. And exactly the same. A little bit of extra thin down this side, and I'll go around to the other side. And we'll pop it in there. As he says, so he moves it, so very good. There we go. Let the glue grab it. So there we go, make sure we're in the right position. And again, grab a little bit of glue. Just let it travel down the sides. Just a light push to get the glue to take around all the seams and sides. So there we go, there's that one. Make sure your fingers are dry again, don't be manhandling anything with glue on your fingers because it leaves such a shocking mess, especially if it's a fingerprint. It's nothing worse. Really hard to clean up. So again, quite sparing with the glue because any excess you're going to have to spend time cleaning off later on. So there we go, there's that one. A little bit of a press down again. Not hard, just enough to get the glue to take. Again, refer to the back, have a look, make sure the angles are even, and that you're happy with the way that looks, that's fine. Right, which way around do we go here? So again, a couple of parts off camera, just glued into the bottom. Again, just little locating lugs. Obviously with this you can position where you have them. For us, they're going to be the deadhead position. These don't seem to be handed as such, so I don't think it's going to make any difference which way around they go. So we'll pop that in there. What we'll do, we'll pop a little bit of glue in the hole first. Just to help get a little bit of purchase on it. And exactly the same as before, wipe the brush off and follow the line along the body. A little bit of a push to get it in the correct position. There we go, and underneath. You can really see the distinctive shape of the Raptor taking shape now. So there we go. Again, a little push into position. Make sure you're happy the way it's orientated. Sorry about the noise outside if you can hear them. We've got seagulls coming in, must be a storm coming. That's great. This side and we're done. So again, pop a little bit of glue in the hole. Just gives it that little bit of purchase whilst we're gluing the rest of it. He says that one doesn't. There we go. No. You just stay there and get some glue on you. He says as he talks to the model himself. That's that one. Flip it round and we get the top side. And that can be left to dry of its own accord. Brilliant, let's put the glue out of the way. We'll just get that one where we want it, which is roughly about there, I'd say. Again, refer to the back. Of course, if you want to, you could position this in any position you want. I just want that classic Raptor look, which is that to me. Superb looking aircraft, and this is a superb kit of it. Very nice of it, that's all settled down. So I'm going to let those dry and we'll be back. Right, okay guys, this is where the F-22 stands now, the Academy kit. Looking really like a Raptor now. I'm quite happy with that. It's a lovely kit, everything goes together really well. The little nozzles on the back are a bit tricky, but not much of a problem. Everything fits really, really nice. I've used a minimum of filler on it, so very happy about that. It's going to make a lovely model once done. So we'll be back for part 3 next time. We'll get the canopy on, masked up, ready for priming. We'll get the weapons bays filled. Basically, we'll do the weapon set. We'll get one of the clear covers on, ready for spraying. That'll then at the end be thrown away, and we'll put the actual clear cover on. Need to put the covers on the landing gear as well, and then hopefully we'll get a coat of primer on it next time, and then part after that we'll come back, we'll start getting the base colour down, start doing the outline camo and the freehand darker grey camo as well. So paulformemodels.co.uk, thanks for watching. Check out eModels website, check out all the rest of the videos on YouTube, and like us on Facebook as well. So I'll see you next time, take care, thanks for watching.